Hi everyone. So this is part 2 of my life story. And if you guys have not seen part 1, it is the video right before this one. So I want to share a little bit about part 2. Before I go running, I gotta go running. Gotta get my run on. So anyways, let's dive into part 2 of my story of my life. So part 1, I shared how, as far back as I can remember, when I was 2 years old, and my Mississippi days. I was born in Mississippi, so my Mississippi days. And I shared all the fond memories that I can remember so far. So now it's time to move on to part 2. All right, part 2. Let's breathe real quick. Because part 2 shapes not who I am, but the challenges I faced in life. Part 2 has a lot to do with that. So in part 2, I was 2 to 3 years old, and we moved north. We moved to Wisconsin. And it was me, my siblings, and my mother. We moved to Wisconsin, and we moved with my mom's sister. And my mom's sister had 2 children that were a lot older than me. So yeah, I remember living there. And I remember like this big old kitchen area. And I remember it was like this big bed downstairs. And I always remember climbing in the bed with, I don't know, family members, I guess. So I do remember climbing in the bed with them. And I remember being in the kitchen a lot. Because my mama used to cook a lot, and my auntie did too. So I remember being in the kitchen a lot, and I just remember food was always cooking. And I remember these stairs. There was this stairs. It was like an upstairs to this. So I'm assuming it was like some type of apartment or something. Or a house. I don't know. I'm just going off of what I remember as a child. So I was like 2 or 3 at this point. So I remember these stairs, and I remember always going up the stairs. And, but the part I want to get to, because of course I can't share all the details, but the part I want to get to, and but that's okay, because I'm going to take a walk after this, so I'll be all right. But I remember being 2 or 3, and I remember going up the stairs, and I remember it wasn't a lot of people there during this time. It wasn't a lot of people. When I'm having this memory. And this memory, I remember going up the stairs, and there was older person, older than me, because I'm 2 or 3. So this was a teenager. And I remember this guy laying on the couch. And I remember being on the other end of him. And I remember, And I remember being at the other end of him, and I remember him having me touch his private areas. I don't know what my mindset was, but that's what I remember. I remember me touching his private area, but I remember it in a way where I felt comfortable. So this had to have happened multiple times, because there's only one memory that I remember of that. But for me to feel comfortable doing that, from as far as I can remember, this had to have happened multiple times for him to lay there. And that's what I remember. And I'm sure that more happened. I'm sorry, I'm starting to get like this this sick feeling in my body. Okay. This is something I don't talk about often, but just remember this is coming from the inner child in me. This is not coming from me talking now. This is the inner child in me and what I'm trying to remember. But I'm just starting to feel sick because I haven't talked about this, but I want to share this story because I want people to understand what goes on through the mind of a child, and they don't clearly understand, and how it shapes and forms you when you become an adult. So it's just I'm trying to take my time with this. I really am, but it's really hard for me. It's really hard for me because I haven't really sat and just talked about this. And this part 2 is going to continue on because I don't know how much I'm able to get out of this, but that I do remember, and I'm gonna cut it off right there.